AmethystsHerd here with Chloe, and we are here to talk to you about potassium citrate, what it is, what it does, and why it's important. Okay, so a while back, Chloe was having some urination trouble. She was crying when she went to the bathroom and not doing well. So I took her to the vet and she had some bladder sludge. Now, what causes bladder sludge? And what is bladder sludge? Bladder sludge is where their urine gets really grainy and thick, and it gets this milky white consistency to it, and it can be painful for them to pee. And if left to progress, it can lead to bladder stones, which are extremely painful, and if it blocks their ability to pee, it can lead to needing surgery. We ran some urine tests on her to see what was going on. Well, it turns out she had a high level of calcium and oxalates in her urine. What is calcium? Calcium is something that's found in a lot of foods. It can be beneficial. Calcium is good for strong bones. So when you do give your guinea pigs food, do not completely cut out calcium. They do need some calcium. Please keep that in mind. Oxalates is also what was high in her blood. Oxalates were also high in her urine. Now, what are oxalates? Oxalates are a metabolic compound that are produced in the body, and they also are contained in food. It's also known as oxalic acid. She's kissing my arm. What oxalates do is they bind to things like calcium and magnesium and make it harder for the body to absorb them. So, with that being said, what potassium citrate does is it helps break all that down. It provides urinary support for the bladder and makes it easier for her little body to deal with calcium and oxalates. Now, a lot of stuff is high in calcium and in oxalates. Now, there have been studies done showing that if you go lower in oxalates, your body will have an easier time dealing with the extra calcium, their bodies too. So things like spinach, kale, I can't remember the other ones, but they're high in oxalates. So I do feed kale, but I don't feed it often. I feed it every now and then. Spinach, I avoid, stuff like that. I look at all my veggies and I see, before I buy a new veggie, I will look to see how much calcium it has and how much oxalates it has and how much vitamin C it has, because that's important for them too. So it's important when you're looking into your guinea pig's diet to find out what's in this, what is good, what is bad, and how often should I be feeding this. With that being said, she was having bladder sludge issues and a lot of pain. If it had gone on, she could have developed bladder stones, and it could have been an even worse situation. So what I did is I took her to the vet. They did a urinalysis, and they diagnosed her, saying it was bladder sludge, and saying it was likely she was more prone to bladder stones because of a genetic issue, bad breeding. She was originally a Petco piggy when her previous owner got her, so I'm pretty sure there was bad breeding in there. So they prescribed this. She takes 0.3 milliliters twice a day. She completely hates the taste of it, but Ever since, we haven't had any issues with bladder sludge, no issues with bladder stones. She's been doing great. And, I mean, other than arthritis, but that's a whole another video. So, if your guinea pig is more inclined to bladder sludge or bladder stones, I highly recommend talking to your vet about the possibility of potassium citrate to see if that would be a good option for you and your guinea pig. With that being said, like I was saying earlier, diet does play an important role, a very important role. So you want to look into what you're feeding your guinea pigs, what nutrients what you're feeding them has, how many oxalates it has. We want to make sure our guinea pigs are getting the best diet and living the happiest and healthiest lives they can. With that being said, until next time, love your piggies. Mwah.